When I was asked to teach a Bible study on music, I thought, where am I going to find scriptures about music? But as I investigated the scriptures, I found that the Bible has a lot to say on that subject. Now, there are all kinds of music that is being introduced into the church services today, and is causing division between the older believers, the younger believers, and the young unbelievers that come to the church. And so to settle this matter, we really need to look at what the scriptures have to say about music. I first would like to turn to two scriptures that define what music is. First, we'll turn to Isaiah 51, verse 3, and the last part of that verse says, "Joy and gladness will be found in her, thanksgiving and the sound of a melody." So here God defines music as a melody to be sung with thanksgiving. Now let's turn to Ephesians chapter 5, verses 18 and 19. And that says, "And do not be drunk with wine, for that is dissipation, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, and singing and making melody with your heart to the Lord." Again, it says melody is to be sung in our hearts to the Lord. So the song is a melody. What is a melody? Webster's dictionary defines it as being the dominant theme of a musical composition with sweetness of sound. I'm going to show you a demonstration of what a melody is. As we see here, the melody is single notes played on the staff, and we'll hear what a melody sounds like. Music would be boring if it was just single notes, so to enhance that melody we need harmony. Harmony contains the notes that complement the single notes, adding depth to the melody. They are known as chords. Here is an example of harmony. The melody and harmony being played would be one continuous monotonous sound without rhythm. Now, rhythm is the meter in music. It's the unseen glue that holds the music together. The metronome shows the unseen beat in the music. And here we have an example. It is when the harmony, which are the chords, or the rhythm, which is the beat, dominate the melody, it ceases to be music in the true sense of the word. The harmony and the beat can either destroy the melody or it can enhance it. And here is an example of destroying the melody. I think you'll agree that the chords and the drums totally overpowered the melody in that Christian rock song. I'd like to show you an example of how drums can be used to enhance the melody in a Christian hymn. If we look at Ephesians 5:19 again, Paul says to speak to one another with psalms and hymns and spiritual songs. There's a difference between a psalm, a hymn, and a spiritual song, and we're going to look at that. But the fact that Paul specifies spiritual songs indicates that there are songs that are not spiritual, and we'll look at that also. First, I'd like to show you what a psalm is. A psalm is Old Testament poetry inspired by God and put to music. We're familiar with David's psalms, which he played on a stringed instrument. Here is an example of Psalm 137 put to music. A hymn is an ode, which is a praiseful and doctrinal poem put to spiritual music. This is an example of a hymn which sings about God's holiness and the Trinity. These are two very important doctrines. It's not scripture and it's not inspired by God, but it does contain important doctrine. Listen. Now, a spiritual song is an ode or a poem that is written with a biblical theme but put to a more popular style of music. It has a discernible melody with sweetness of sound. Now, I'm using a song by Michael W. Smith when his music was solid in his doctrine. I'm not promoting Michael W. Smith, as his doctrines and music have changed, but we cannot negate the fact that this song is definitely a spiritual song and has an important biblical theme talking about how great God is and how great is His mercy. You'll recognize this song, I am sure. Now, there is such a thing as a carnal song as opposed to a spiritual song. A carnal song is an empty poem put to worldly music that appeals to the flesh and not to the spirit. It's not a bad song, it's just a song we wouldn't sing unto the Lord, even if the words were scriptural. How would you recognize such a song? Watch how your body moves as I play this carnal song.
You know you got what you wanted when you gave me the news. You told me you were leaving, you gave me the blues. But that's okay, be on your way, 'cause I'm sick of all your scheming.
We have now completed the introduction to our lessons on Christian music. To learn what Scripture has to say about unspiritual or carnal worldly music, please click on lesson number 2.